What's up everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I've made my way down to Flow Toyota of Statesville and we're going to take a look at this 2019 Toyota Camry XSE. Huge shout out to them for providing this vehicle for me today. I'll have all their information in the description below. This model is finished off in blue streak metallic with an MSRP just over $37,000. Under the hood, this has a 3.5 liter V6 engine. This is only paired to the 8-speed automatic transmission with steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. This engine produces 301 horsepower at 6,600 RPM and 276 pound-feet of torque at 4,700 RPM. It is front wheel drive, weighs around 3,500 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in just under 6 seconds with a top speed of 136 miles an hour. And with a fuel capacity of 16 gallons, you can expect to see 22 miles per gallon in the city and 33 miles on the highway. The wheelbase measures 111.2 inches. It has an overall length of 192.1. The width is 72.4 and it has a height of 56.9 inches. Starting up front, this has LED headlights and LED daytime running lights. The gloss black grille has a nice hourglass shape to it to give it a very distinctive look, along with nice patterns that run throughout the mesh. You can see more of the gloss black protruding nicely underneath each headlight, along with a body colored trim piece running underneath the Toyota logo. Gives it a very aggressive appearance from the front. Down in the lower section of the bumper, there's a nice brushed aluminum trim piece with more gloss black to each side. And then in the middle section on each side of the bumper is another gloss black trim piece. The front bumper also has very nice contours running throughout it to add to the aggressive look. Moving to the side, this has a set of 19 by 8 inch black machine finished alloy wheels. They have a multi-spoke design to them along with a two-tone finish. 4-wheel disc brakes are in all 4 corners. The body colored side mirrors are heated and feature the integrated turn signal. This has a braking distance from 60 miles an hour to 0 in 122 feet. There's chrome trim surrounding the windows. Up on the roof, this features a full panoramic roof. And then taking another look at the side profile, there's 3 distinctive lines running throughout it. The first one starts just behind the front tires. It runs through the door handles and back towards the rear taillight. There's a diagonal one running through the middle of the doors and a nice protrusion coming from the side skirts. And finishing up in the rear with the body colored trunk lip spoiler. This has LED taillights, a backup camera. Very clean lines flow throughout the rear bumper. Down in the lower section, this has a body colored diffuser with black trim separating it. And last up is the quasi quad tip stainless steel exhaust. So that is going to finish up with the exterior walk around on the 2019 Camry XSE. This is probably my favorite color on this car. It looks really good in person and it accents everything else nicely with the black on the wheels and of course the black on the large section of the grille up front. It makes all the lines in the car stand out as well and just gives it a really nice look. Now it's time to go ahead and check out the interior. And as long as I have the key on me, the vehicle is locked. I'll just place my hand in the door handle. You'll hear it automatically unlock. Moving on to the door panel, you can see it has a nice two-tone design to it. There's stitching running along the armrest, along with a brushed trim piece running above that. It's on the release handle as well. All of the side windows are automatic up and down. You have your lock and unlock in front of that, along with the adjustments for the mirrors. This has a 9-speaker audio sound system, some cup holder and storage spaces down at the bottom. Moving inside now to the tan colored seats. They have a really nice design to them. Some suede material runs through the middle here. You have stitching running down the bolsters. They are heated as well and feature an 8-way power adjustability with 2-way power lumbar support. Once inside, we're greeted with a fully wrapped black leather steering wheel with more black stitching running throughout the middle of it. Has a really good hand positioning to it on each side as well. On the right side, we have cruise control buttons along with mode and tuning for the radio. You have lane keeping assist along with sensors. And then on the left side, you have buttons that will control the center screen. I'll get to that here soon. You have your voice commands, volume for the radio, and Bluetooth. And then this has the steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. They are finished off in black, as you can see. With the vehicle on now, we'll go ahead and take a look at the gauge cluster. On the left side, you have the engine temperature and the tach. On the right side is the speedometer and fuel gauge. And then using those buttons on the left side of the steering wheel, we can look at the center gauge and go through a lot of vital information. Right now we're on fuel economy, so you can see your average along with your distance till empty. If we scroll down, we can look at driving support, so you have your lane keeping assist and cruise control, which obviously you can turn on and off. You can look at your audio, you have your system status, so your pre-collision system, along with your blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, and then you can scroll over and look at your TPMS. Scrolling down one more time, we can look at all of that safety information again and being able to turn it on and off, along with controlling the heads-up display. On the left side of the steering wheel, we have a small cubby storage spot for anything that you need to place there. You have the fuel cap release along with the trunk, traction control, and your automatic headlights. There's one air vent surrounded with more nice trim. You can see the heads-up display is right there. And then working our way to the center, you'll see 2 air vents above the 8-inch screen. Starting on the menu button, you can see a lot of different settings here, like audio, phone, apps. You have projection, which is basically the Apple CarPlay. You can configure that with your phone. You have info and setup, so you can go in and configure everything that you'd like. On the left side, you also have the home button, so that will show you your audio if that's on. You have your range and your MPG along with your phone. And this is configurable, so you can change this up and have these in different orientations. You have your audio along with your map. Power and volume is up on the top left, along with tuning and scrolling for the radio. On the right side, we have more seek buttons along with your phone and apps that you can go into. And this does have a JBL audio system with a CD player at the top. On each side of the climate controls, you have some more defroster buttons, and then this does have a dual zone climate. So obviously you can control driver and passenger. If you hit sync, you can put them together and control them both at the same time. So you do have temperature adjustments on each side. The driver side one will control both of them. Right in the middle, we can shut everything off. You have the fan speed right next to that, along with where you'd like the air to go. Your recirc and AC is next to that. Surrounding the screen, you have a nice piano black trim piece, along with this one that runs down the entire center all the way down to 2 cup holders. On the passenger side, you have another trim piece above the glove box. And then as we make our way to the center, you have a wireless charging port, and if you slide that back, it gives you some hidden storage space. So it's nice how that's integrated. You can put some items down there and charge your phone at the same time just by sliding that back. You also get a 12-volt, an auxiliary port, and a USB. Behind that, we have the shifter. Just by pulling the trigger on the front, I can go ahead and put it into reverse. You'll see the backup camera light up, and the lines do move with the steering wheel as well. You can also change the guidelines just by pushing the button on the right side, so we can have this configuration in all blue, or just have the red line there, which is about 12 inches from the bumper. Push on it one more time, and we are back to normal. And you can change the camera angle and make it a little bit more narrow. You have the guidelines still, and then you can have a wide angle lens as well. So it's very nice to have both of those options. We can pull the trigger again, put it all the way back into drive, pop it over into sport mode, so you can shift using this or on the paddle shifters. Behind that, there are 3 different driving modes. You have Eco, Normal, and Sport. If you push on Eco, that will turn green. Normal is going to be blue, and then Sport will change it to red. So you can see that just above the P there. Right behind that, we have a brake hold along with the electronic parking brake, the 2 cup holders as I showed earlier, and there are 3 different settings for the heated seats. So you have driver and passenger right in the middle. Looking at the center console now, it has more stitching running along it, gives it a really nice look. Just by pushing the button in the front, we can open it up. It has a pretty good amount of storage space in it with 2 USBs in the front. So you can definitely put anything in there that you need. And then working our way over to the glove box, you have your normal amount of space. We'll go ahead and take one last look at these seats. And then this does have the full panoramic roof again. So just by using those controls up in the middle, we can go ahead and retract the sunroof all the way. It actually opens pretty quick, and you can do the sunroof at the same time. So you have both of those controls up in the middle, along with some dome light switches as well. Now it's time to take a look at the rear seating, and the door panel is finished off just like up front with the nice 2-tone design and the brushed trim piece running along the top. This is a 5-seater sedan. Behind both front seats, you have a nice storage pocket for anything that you need to fit there. There's 2 air vents in the center, along with 2 USBs down at the bottom. And with the front seat set at my height, 5'10", you can see just how much legroom I have. My knees are almost fully extended, and I can fit my whole foot up underneath the seat. And then I have about 3 or 4 inches above my head, so it's very spacious in the back seats. I could easily have 2 other people next to me comfortably. You have plenty of legroom, plenty of headroom, and a lot of light in the back seat, especially with the sunshade open. It gives you plenty of light. You have large windows on the side, even having that back one there. Looking at the center armrest now, you have 2 more cup holders. The back seats also have a 60-40 split to them. In order to fold these down, you do have to use a button that's located in the trunk, but you can see with that seat folded down, all the room you have into the back seats. So you have the option to do that, and they do fold flat, which is nice to see. Now checking out the trunk storage space, you can use the button on the key fob, there's one inside, or on the right side of the trunk there's an electronic button. We can go ahead and open that up. There's about 15 cubic feet of storage space in the back with the seats up, and obviously with them folded down you have plenty of room for anything else that you need to slide through. And I really like the fact too that you have a ton of space on the left side and on the right side, so you can fit items this way if needed. You have your spare tire and toolkit up underneath, but obviously there is plenty of room in here. Even with 5 people, you definitely have a lot of room in the trunk space. So getting the Camry XSE out on the road now, this is basically the top of the line trim level. It comes with the V6 engine. A 4-cylinder is available for the Camry, so you definitely have a lot of different trim levels that you can opt for what you're looking for between the 4-cylinder or the V6, and a ton of options with technology, the interior options as well, and all of the colors. So you can definitely pick the right one that you're looking for. But with the V6 engine, we have it in eco mode right now. So go ahead and just give it a little bit of gas. It actually gets up and moves pretty well in eco mode. Obviously, you're going to want to have it in there when you're out cruising on the highway. This is a daily driving vehicle. It's a commuter car. So if you're in stop and go traffic or you're just cruising out on the highway, you can put it into eco mode. We can pop it into normal mode right now. Give it a little bit of gas again. Nothing crazy, not even half throttle there. But I can't really tell a difference in the acceleration. It seems like the acceleration is the same, which is a good thing. I know a lot of vehicles that have eco mode, if you go and step on it, it pretty much cuts all throttle or all power from the vehicle. So that's very nice that at least in that acceleration, no power was cut. Now it's time to put it into sport mode, and we will do the same test. Just give it a little bit of gas here. It gets up a little bit quicker. I can definitely notice a difference with the throttle response. Of course, if I got on it a little bit more, it might give a bigger difference than what I'm doing right now. But the car got a little bit louder at the same time, which is cool to see. But moving on to the overall visibility for a sedan of this size, it's actually really good. I like how thin the A-pillars are, so your forward-facing visibility is very good. And I just noticed there's a speaker on each A-pillar as well, so that's very cool to see. And you can see in front of the side mirrors at the same time. So forward-facing visibility, really good. And then a glance over your left and right shoulder. The pillars are not bulky in either direction, so you can easily see pretty much 360 around the vehicle. And then the back glass is pretty large too. Even with the headrests up in the back seats, I can easily see around them and out of that glass. So visibility, not an issue in this car. Talking about the comfort of driving this car now, as it's a vehicle that's going to rack up a lot of miles, I haven't had any complaints with the seating position. I really like it. Steering wheel is in a good spot, and of course you have the paddles right behind it, but I could easily see driving this every single day. And then talking about the suspension, it's been a really smooth and soft ride, but it doesn't feel like the car is floating or anything like that. Coming around a turn here, you can feel some of the body roll going back to the left now, which is to be expected. It's not a sports car or anything like that. So you can feel some of the body roll and taking this turn here. But at the same time, it doesn't feel like it's too loose either. So you have a kind of the best of both worlds. It's a very soft and forgiving ride, but at the same time, you can go around normal turns and be fine. So we're gonna go ahead and do one last acceleration test. Just put it over into manual mode, and we'll drop it down to second gear here. Very responsive in the shifts. Going to downshift now. As soon as I hit the paddle, you are into the next gear. Now I know the paddle shifters is probably not something the majority of Camry owners are going to use, but just to touch base on those, they are very responsive. We can go all the way up into 8th gear right now, going 40 miles an hour. So it's nice that you can go up into that gear. A lot of vehicles don't let you upshift, but we can go all the way up into 8th gear, which is nice to see. Put it back over into normal mode right now. And again, very quiet on the inside. This is a smooth driving car, very well insulated. And then talking about all of the interior materials, I really like how this is set up on the inside. You have leather on the steering wheel, really nice fabric on the seats. The center screen here is laid out very well. It's an 8-inch screen, so it's easily readable from the driver's seat here. Everything on each side of it too is laid out well with all of the buttons, so you easily can go through everything on here. It's not too cluttered at the same time either, which is nice to see. You have your AC controls up underneath it, and that's basically it. Some buttons to the left and the right. So it's a very nice clean setup, especially with the piano black, and this nice trim piece that runs from the top left all the way down to 2 cup holders. Just gives it a really cool look. And it's nice that you have a wireless charging port, and you can slide that open and put some stuff up underneath it. So definitely plenty of interior storage space, a huge trunk, so if you have 5 people in here, you have plenty of room for all of their items as well. Well, I think that's gonna wrap up with my time in the 2019 Toyota Camry XSE. Once again, huge shout out to Flo Toyota of Statesville for providing this vehicle for me today. Definitely check out their website, that will be in the description below. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys in the next video.